Okay, bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh dan salam sejahtera tuan-tuan dan puan-puan yang dihormati sekalian. Pada pertemuan ini saya akan berkongsi dengan tuan-tuan dan puan-puan iaitu berkaitan dengan questionnaire design ataupun reka bentuk soal selidik yang merupakan salah satu aspek penting dalam penyelidikan sama ada dalam bidang social science, pendidikan dan lain-lain. So apabila kita sebutkan tentang data-data berkaitan dengan penyelidikan sama ada penyelidikan dalam bidang pendidikan ataupun social science, dia memerlukan questionnaire sebagai salah satu alat ataupun instrumen dalam mendapatkan ataupun mengumpulkan data. The validity of the result depends on the quality of the instrument. Good questionnaires are difficult to construct. Bad questionnaire are difficult to analyze. Maknanya dengan questionnaire yang untuk membentuk suatu questionnaire yang bagus, dia memerlukan satu kaedah yang betul-betul terperinci dan berhati-hati untuk menghasilkan konstruk atau elemen-elemen ataupun instrumen yang bagus. Manakala questionnaire yang mempunyai masalah dalam pelaksanaan ataupun penghasilannya akan memberikan kesukaran untuk kita menganalisis maklumat setelah data tersebut dikumpulkan. Difficult to design for several reasons. Pertama, each question must provide a valid and reliable measures. The question must clearly communicate the research intention to the respondent. The question must be assembled into a logical, clear instrument that flows naturally and will keep the respondent sufficiently interested to continue to cooperate. The goal is to collect information that is quality aim in survey research ataupun the quality yang kita inginkan dalam suatu kajian-kajian tinjauan yang melalui menggunakan instrumen soal selidik adalah pertama yang kita perlukan valid. Measure the quantity or concept that is supposed to be measured. Ia mestilah sah ataupun sahih. Yang kedua, reliable, iaitu measures the quantity or concept in a consistent or reproducible manner. Dan yang ketiga, unbiased, which is measures the quantity or concept in a way that does not systematically under or overestimate the true value. Dan yang terakhir, discriminating, can distinguish adequately between respondent for whom the underlying level of the quantity or concept is different. Step to design a questionnaire. First one, write out the primary and secondary aim of your study. Yang kedua, write out concept information to be collected that relates to this aim. Yang ketiga, review the current literature to identify already validated questionnaires that measure your specific area of interest. Yang keempat, compose a draft of your questionnaire. And yang kelima, revise the draft. Dan yang terakhir, assemble the final questionnaire. Kita lihat langkah yang pertama iaitu step 1, define the aims of the study. Write out the problems and primary and secondary aim using one sentence per aim. Formulate a plan for the statistical analysis of each aim. Make sure to define the target population in your aims. Okay. Step yang kedua, define the variable to be collected. Write a detailed list of the information to be collected and the concept to be measured in the study. Are you trying to identify attitudes, needs, behavior, demographic, or some combination of this concept? Dan seterusnya, translate this concept into variable that can be measured. Ini kita kena terjemahkannya dalam konsep ataupun pemboleh ubah yang boleh diukur. Define role of each variable in statistical analysis. Itu sama ada the predictor, confounder ataupun outcome. Dan yang terakhir, yang ketiga bukan terakhir, step review the literature. Review current literature ataupun kajian-kajian literature yang terkini to identify related survey and data collection instrument that have measured concepts similar to those related to your study aim. Save development time and allows for comparison with other studies if used appropriately. Proceed with cautions if using only a subset of an existing questionnaire, as this may change the meaning of the scores. Contact the authors of the questionnaire to determine if a smaller version of the instrument exists that also been validated. So ini antara langkah-langkah ketiga yang perlu diambil kira dalam kita membuat questionnaire. Step yang keempat ataupun langkah yang keempat, determine the modes of survey administration. Sama ada face-to-face interview, telephone interview, self-completed questionnaire, ataupun yang sekarang ini popular dengan menggunakan computer assisted approaches. Dan yang kedua, write more question than will be included in the final draft. Format the draft as if it were the final version with appropriate white space to get an accurate estimate as to its length. Longer questionnaire reduce the response rate. Yang keempat, place the most important item in the first half of the questionnaire to increase response on important measures even in partially completed survey. Dan yang terakhir, make sure question flow naturally from one to another. Ini juga penting dalam penulisan sebuah soal selidik. Compose a draft. How many cups of coffee or tea you drink in a day? Okay, contohnya. Principal ask for an answer in only one dimension. Solution, separate the question into two. How many cups of coffee do you drink a typical day? And how many cups of tea do you drink a typical day? Compose a draft 3. What brand of computer do you own? IBM PC or Apple? Principle, avoid hidden assumption. Make sure to accommodate all possible answers. Okay. Solution for this situation. Number 1, make each response a dichotomous item. Do you own an IBM PC? Circle yes or no. Do you own an Apple computer? Circle yes or no. Number 2, add necessary response categories and allow for multiple responses. What brand of computer you own? Circle all that apply. Ini adalah contoh-contoh bagaimana untuk kita mendapatkan data-data demografi daripada sebuah soal selidik yang kita jalankan. Dan seterusnya, compose a draft 4. Question, how you had pen in the last week? The choices is never, seldom, often, very often. The principle, make sure question and answer option match. Okay, so for this situation, the solutions given is you would either question or answer to match. How often have you had pain in the last week? Never, seldom, often, or very often. So this is the reward for the first question. So untuk memberikan makna yang sepadan dengan jawapan pilihan yang telah ditetapkan. Okay. Ini satu lagi contoh. Why did you grow up? Okay. Where did you grow up? Country, farm, and city. So principle, avoid question having non-mutually exclusive answer. Untuk soalan ini kita telah berikan beberapa solution. Design the question with mutually exclusive options. Where did you grow up? House in the country, farm in the country, or city. Ini adalah contoh-contoh bagaimana kita nak berikan jawapan yang terbaik supaya ianya dapat difahami dengan lebih berkesan oleh responden yang kita akan tetapkan nanti. Okay, step yang kelima, revise. Shorten the set question for the study. If a question does not address one of aims, discard it. Refine the question included and their wording by testing them with a variety of respondents. Ensure the flow is natural. Verify the terms and concepts are familiar and easy to understand for your target audience. Keep recall to a minimum and focus on the recent past. Step number 6, assemble the final questionnaire. Decided whether you will format the questionnaire yourself or use computer-based program for assistance, surveymonkey.com, Adobe Lifecycle Designer 7.0, CRC Assistant. At the top, clearly state the purpose of the study, how the data will be used, instruction on how to fill out the questionnaire, the policy on confidentiality, including identifying data on each page of multi-page paper-based questionnaire, such as a respondent ID number in case the pages are separated. Assemble the final questionnaire, group question concerning major subject areas together and introduce them by heading or short descriptive statement. Order question in order to stimulate recall. Order and format question to ensure unbiased and balanced results. Include white space to make answer clear and to help increase response rate. Space response scale widely enough so that it's easy to circle or check the correct answer without the mark accidentally including the answer above or below. Open-ended question, the space for the response should be big enough to allow respondent with large handwriting to write comfortably in the space. Close-ended question, line up answer vertically and precede them with boxes or brackets to check or by number to circle rather than open blank. Use larger font size 14 and high contrast black on white. When writing question and assembling the final questionnaire, edit with a view towards saliency, apparent relevance, importance, and interest of the survey to the respondent. Consider either pre-notifying those in your sample or sending reminders to those who receive the survey. Studies have shown that making contact with the sample individual increase the response rate. If possible, offer an incentive. Understanding the characteristic of those who did not respond to the survey is important to quantify what, if any, bias exists in the result. Quantify the characteristic of the non-responders to poster the survey. Moser and Carlton suggest tracking the length of time it takes for a survey to be returned. Those who take the longest to return the survey are most like the non-responders. This result may be situation dependent. Okay. As a conclusion, you need plenty of time. Design a questionnaire from research hypotheses that have been carefully studied and throughout. Discuss the research problem with colleague and subject matter expert. Is critical of developing a good question. Review, revise, and test the questions on an iterative basis. Examine the questionnaire as a whole for flow and presentation. This is the references untuk pembentangan ini, iaitu Stephen Hari et al. Statpack.com survey, design and use questionnaire, review the best practice applicable to survey of health service staff and patients, dan lain-lain. Terima kasih di atas perhatian. Assalamualaikum.